So I've been away from YouTube for 3 weeks. Wow. I'm not going to lie, it's been bliss. When you step away from something like YouTube and look back at it, from a distance, you can see what a toxic place it is and see how much hatred resides in people's hearts, particularly with the subject that is the Earth. Of course, recent events have really shaken up things, but have been very telling. Now let's rewind 7, possibly 8 months now, back to last year, when I was highlighting the false dichotomy that was the final experiment, and Jeran from the Jeranisms channel, illogical stance in the build-up to the final experiment. And of course I predicted that Jeran would go on to become a flat earth debunker in 2025. I took a hell of a lot of flack from the community for speaking up and highlighting what I could see plain as day, but because of emotional attachments, others couldn't. But of course, it's played out exactly how I said it would. Now here's the thing. Loads of people were absolutely disgusted by me highlighting illogical points that Jeran had said. Some people unsubscribed. Some people were horrified that I had the cheek to actually speak up against their flat earth leader. But of course, every single thing I ever said regarding this subject was logical and true. And with regard to Jeran, it's played out exactly how I predicted it would. Which is disappointing, to say the least. I didn't want to be right in this particular instance. I didn't. But of course I was. What I find disappointing is a lot of the people that were so vocal about me speaking up, none of them have come back to apologise or own the fact they were wrong. Except for one person. And that fella is a guy called Doug. So credit where it's due. Well done, Doug. I think I said to you the other day, I don't know if you received my comment back, but you're the only person I'm aware of, Doug, that has owned it regarding Jeran. And it would have been difficult for you, Doug, because I believe you were a moderator on Jeran's channel. I had an interaction with Doug, I think on a Kyle Adams video, where Doug had come to the realization regarding Jeran. It shouldn't be difficult now, because Jeran now is actually regurgitating old debunked globe arguments from back from 2014. So how obvious does he want to make it? And of course Doug has owned it, he's put aside his emotional attachments and is simply standing by what is now. And yeah, fair play to you, Doug. I said to you in that comment the other day, big thumbs up. I don't know if you'll see this, but respect to you for owning it, mate. Because of the emotional attachment, so many have struggled to own it. And a few have been fooled by this final experiment pantomime. I said it before they went, and I'm going to say it now. The globe earth theory is physically impossible. No one on this earth can refute that statement. Everyone on this earth can confirm that statement. I would have loved to have known in a scientific fashion if there's a circling sun in Antarctica. I have no bias. It doesn't affect me in any shape or form. I have no model to defend. I simply stand by the physicality of the earth. Because it was such a mess and was done in a very shoddy fashion, and because of a lot of the dishonesty and a lot of the issues that have been highlighted regarding the final experiment, I can't take it seriously. So the observation at the moment is still open for me. Part of me, this might annoy some people, part of me really does want there to be a circling sun, because it means this place is far more interesting than I originally thought. You're never ever going to refute the physicality of the earth by looking up at the sky. You can look up at the sky and imagine you're on a ball, but the problem is when you do that, you're quickly going to be brought back to earth with a thump by people like myself who are going to highlight the physicality of this earth proves the globe earth theory is impossible. This is the dilemma. You can look up and imagine you're on a ball, by looking up at the luminaries. But the ball is physically impossible. The Earth is demonstrably level, but the sky when we look up makes no sense regarding that. The sooner people from both communities come together and address that fact, and perhaps we can find some common ground where we can stand by things that we can all agree on. And the only thing I can think of that is a great starting place for that is the things we can test and verify for ourselves. The problem is the globe community doesn't want to go there because they know instantly their theoretical model gets found out and exposed by what's physically true. And that's the problem. It's a psychological barrier. And some flat earthers have it as well. So it's not all one-sided. The psychology is what is holding us back. People claiming that physical reality is up for debate are also holding us back. The way this reality presents itself to us isn't up for debate. And I mean that in a physical form. Optically, of course, looking up at the sky, at the things we can't touch or feel, of course you can debate what those things are and you can give your opinion. But the physicality of the Earth, which can be tested and verified by all, that isn't up for debate. And the results of the physicality of the Earth prove to us all the globe is impossible. This is the problem. This was the problem 11 years ago. This is the problem now. We've just gone through some sort of regurgitation pantomime over the last 12 months. There is positives to have come out of this. Many people have revealed their cards. Many people have revealed their naivety regarding this. Even truthers have highlighted to all for how gullible they can be because of emotional attachments. Going forward, I would love to see if there's a 24-hour sun in Antarctica. Like I've said, the observation if there was, I would find that a fascinating observation. It's not going to change anything I've ever said. It won't refute anything I've ever said. But it's an observation I would like done in a scientific fashion. Again, how I go about that, I think the only way I can go about that is to go and have a look for myself. And maybe that's something I can do in the future. You probably can hear the white noise in the background. I'm sat in the crane and that's the heater on. It is quite cold this morning. So sorry about that, having to put up with a bit of white noise. The heater is quite noisy. But yeah, I just randomly thought I'd fire back up after 3 weeks and just discuss a few things. Fair play to you, Doug, for owning it regarding Jeranism. Fair play to the people that are now seeing through this pantomime that's been going on for the last few months and weren't fooled by it or gaslit by it back into a delusional belief system because of emotional attachments to a model or an online personality. I applaud you people who stood strong. It shouldn't be difficult because the physicality of this earth cannot be swayed. And of course, as I say many times, it proves the globe is impossible. The way forward, we have to stand by what is. We have to find some common ground with the fantasists we know as the Globe Earth community. How we do that, I don't know, because so many Globe representatives are dishonest and so many of them have a bias that's so strong that they're unable to accept physical reality for what it is. And that's a scary thought. Have a good week, everyone.